If you are a senior living on a fixed income and the house you live in is starting to cost more than it should, either to fix, to heat, or simply to stay in, I need you to hear something. There is real money set aside by the government right now, whose entire purpose is to help older Americans keep a safe roof over their heads. Grants that do not have to be paid back, programs that cut your bills, housing help that caps what you pay. And the reason you have probably never heard of any of it is not that you do not qualify. It is that no office is paid to come find you and tell you. So let me be the one to tell you. I am going to walk you through the real programs, the ones with actual names you can look up, that help seniors pay to repair a home, to heat it, and to afford the rent. I will tell you roughly who qualifies for each and the single place to call to begin. None of this is a scheme, and there is nothing to buy. It is help that already exists, funded and waiting for people in exactly your situation. Let me begin with the one that surprises people the most, because it comes from a place you would never expect. If you own your home and it needs repairs to stay safe, a roof that leaks, a furnace that is quit, steps that are no longer safe to climb, there is a federal program that will actually give qualifying seniors money to fix those hazards. It is run, of all places, through the United States Department of Agriculture because it was built for homeowners in rural and small-town America. For homeowners who are 62 or older with a low income, it offers a grant, and a grant means money you do not repay, of up to $10,000, specifically to remove health and safety hazards from your home. And if you also need a larger repair, there is a low-interest loan of up to $40,000 at just 1%, stretched over many years, that can be combined with the grant. The main requirements are simple. You own and live in the home, your income is modest, and the home is in an eligible area, which covers far more of the country than most people assume. To start, you call your local United States Department of Agriculture Rural Development Office, and you ask about the home repair program for seniors. That one call is the whole beginning. The second program tackles the bill that quietly drains a fixed income all winter and all summer long, and that is your energy bill. There is a long-standing federal effort whose entire job is to make your home cost less to heat and cool. And it does this not by handing you a check, but by sending trained workers to your home to seal it up properly. They add insulation, they seal the drafts and the leaks, they check that your heating is running safely and efficiently, and in many cases, they will repair or replace a dangerous old furnace. And here is the part that matters most. For those who qualify, this work is done completely free. It is meant for households with modest incomes, and if you already receive certain kinds of assistance, you may qualify automatically. The savings are not a one-time thing. A properly sealed home costs less to heat every single winter for as long as you live in it. To begin, you contact your state or local weatherization office, and many people find it fastest to simply dial 211, the free national helpline, and ask who handles home weatherization in their county. There is a third cost that hits homeowners hardest of all, and it is the one that keeps climbing even after the mortgage is long gone. Here is what a great many seniors never realize. Almost every state has a program that will either freeze your property tax so that it can never rise on you again, or directly lower what you owe once you reach a certain age and if your income is modest. In some places, it can cut that bill nearly in half. For a homeowner on a fixed income, that is hundreds, and in many places well over $1,000, staying in your pocket every single year for as long as you live in that home. But this one carries a trap that is easy to fall into. You almost always have to file for it with your county by a specific deadline, often early in the year. Miss that window, and in most places you lose the entire benefit for that whole year, with no refund. So, the two questions to ask your county assessor are simple. Do I qualify for the senior property tax freeze or exemption? And what is the deadline to apply? And there is one more kind of help that matters enormously if what you truly want is to stay in your own home safely as the years go on. If climbing the stairs, or stepping over the side of the tub, or getting through a narrow doorway has become hard, there are programs, including some run through Medicaid for those who qualify, that will actually pay to modify your home for you. A ramp at the front step, grab bars in the bathroom, a walk-in shower in place of the tub, a sturdy rail along the stairs. These are not luxuries. They are the exact changes that let a person go on living in their own home instead of being pushed into care that costs many times more. And that is the very reason the money exists to pay for them. Now, if you rent, or if the house itself has simply become too much to keep up, there is help built for that too. There is a federal housing program built for one group and one group only: older adults. It is designed specifically for seniors 62 and over with low incomes. And in these buildings, instead of paying whatever the market demands, you generally pay only around 30% of your income toward the rent, and the government quietly covers the rest. Many of these communities are built for aging comfortably, with things like shared meals, transportation, and staff who help connect residents to services. Alongside it, there is a separate and more widely known program, a rental voucher that helps low-income seniors afford a home in the regular private market. Again, by capping what you pay at roughly 30% of your income. I will be honest with you about one thing, because I would rather you hear it from me. These programs are in high demand, and the waiting list can be long, sometimes a year or more. That is exactly why the right time to get your name on a list is now, long before you feel you urgently need it, not the week you do. And there is a fourth piece that ties these together, the free guide that most people never use. In nearly every county in this country, there is an office called the Area Agency on Aging. Its entire reason to exist is to help older adults find and apply for exactly the kinds of programs I have just described, along with help for property taxes, food, and medical costs. They do not charge you. They do not sell you anything, and they will sit with you and sort out which of these you actually qualify for. If everything else I have said feels like too much to chase down one by one, then let this be the only phone number you write down today. Search for the Area Agency on Aging in your county and let them do the hard part with you. Now, I want to be straight with you about how all of this works, because there is a pattern to it. And once you see the pattern, you will never be caught by it again. Not one of these programs is automatic. No one at the government cross-checks your age and your income and your address and mails you the help. In every single case, the money sits there, real and funded, and it waits for you to raise your hand and ask. The homeowner who never calls keeps paying for the repair out of savings they could not spare. The renter who never gets on the list keeps paying a rent that eats them alive. And the whole system runs quietly on the assumption that most people will never make the call. Every month you do not is a month the help simply goes to someone else or goes unspent. And when you do make that call, one small thing will save you a great deal of frustration. Have a few papers within reach before you dial. Something that shows your age, a recent statement of your income, whether that is Social Security or a pension, and proof that you own or rent the home. Almost every one of these programs turns on those same three facts: your age, your income, and your address. And having them in front of you turns a confusing phone call into a short one. You do not need to prepare a case. You just need to be ready to answer plainly. I also want to be fair and careful, because programs like these can change. Their funding can shift from year to year, and the exact income limits and rules vary from one state and one county to the next. So please do not take any single number I have given you as the final word for your own home. Take it as proof that the help exists, and as the reason to pick up the phone and get your own real answer from the office that runs it. So here is what I am asking you to actually do this week. You do not have to chase all of these at once. Pick the one that matches your situation. If you own your home and something in it needs fixing to stay safe, call your local United States Department of Agriculture Rural Development Office and ask about the Senior Repair Grant. If your heating and cooling bills are crushing you, dial 211 and ask about weatherization. If the rent has become impossible or the house has become too much, contact your local housing authority and ask to get on the list today. And if you're not sure where to even begin, call the Area Agency on Aging in your county and let them point you. And then do one more thing. Picture someone you know, a parent, a neighbor, an old friend, who is quietly struggling in a home that costs a little more than they can carry, and who would never in 100 years think to ask the government for help. Share this with them. Most people are not missing out on this because they do not qualify. They are missing out because no one ever sat them down and told them the help was theirs to claim. One last thing. Plainly, I am not with any of these agencies, and I am not selling a service, and the details really do depend on where you live and what you earn. So use the official offices, the ones ending in .gov, or the free help at your area agency on aging to check your own eligibility. All I want is for you to know that if the home you live in has started to feel like a weight you cannot carry alone, you do not actually have to carry it alone. There is help, it is real, and it has been waiting the whole time for you to ask.